it's been a little while, hasn't it? So I'm actually still recovering from my hip tendon repair surgery. And it's going on 2 weeks now because I had surgery on the 24th. So it's been difficult, but not that bad. And I'll explain in a second why it was difficult. The experience from before the day of surgery, before surgery, till now. And like I said, I'll explain. On day 3, I stopped taking pain medicines, and I'm thankful for that because it was interfering with my sleep. Pain pills take away the effect of my sleeping pill, so it's very hard to shut my mind down and go to sleep. So thank goodness my hip wasn't that bad where I needed pain pills on the 3rd day forward. So I hadn't took them, but I still have trouble falling asleep. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the pain pill effects are still in my system? Maybe? I don't know. But I will tell you the hardships that I went through. Okay, the day of surgery, but before. I was in the room where they prepare you and everything. And that went well. The anesthesia guy comes in, 2 of them actually. And one was like, I see where you get sick when you're put under, and how long has that been, or something like that. And I said, well, I've always been that way up until recently where they gave me something to where I don't get sick anymore. And he goes, oh, well, I'm going to try something different. And I hate it when they say that. If something is working good for you and somebody tells you that, tell them no. I want to stick with what I've got because it's good for me. Because he did what he wanted to do, I got sick. So then next, he comes back in just seconds before the 2 girls came to get me. And he gives me 2 injections. And then quickly also. And I said, is one of those the loopy medications? And he said, yes. That's the last thing I remember. No, let me back up. I remember the 2 women coming in, getting me, and then them telling me to tell my daughter goodbye because she was there with me. And I hugged her, and that's the last thing I remember. And usually, honestly, they will give me that loopy medicine, and that's it. No other injections. And I remember the trip to the surgery room. And the minute I'm on the surgery bed is when they give me that medicine to either go blank or I start going under. I don't know what they gave me at this time. I come out of surgery and I was in the recovery room. I think they call it the recovery room. I can't remember. But anyway, I woke up. Of course, I was in pain. And the nurse said, okay, I'll give you something. Well, she had to give me something 3 times. And the 3rd time, finally, the pain was slight, very slight. And I wasn't breathing right because my oxygen level kept going down. And I had oxygen tube up my nose. Anyway, they kept waking, and usually, after surgery, I wake right up. No problem. My eyes just open and I'm wide awake from that point forward. Well, I struggled bad. I couldn't stay awake, and they kept waking me up saying, you need to keep breathing, taking deep breaths, your oxygen keeps going down. And I'm like, it was very hard to stay awake, and I'm sitting there thinking, I can't stay awake long enough to do that, but I did try. And then they put me in the other room where you should be waking up, becoming alert, and getting ready to go home. And they were still waking me up because my oxygen was going down. And they kept saying, I want you to say, I recall them saying, if you can't get it up, you're going to have to stay. I think is that what they said. I can't remember. And then I don't remember anything else again. And my daughter said the surgeon came and talked to her, and she said he told her I had a small tear and that he wants me to stay off of that leg completely for 3 weeks. My aftercare instructions that they gave after surgery, It's highlighted partial weight on that foot. So I'm kind of confused. So I emailed the nurse. She says, oh, no, you're not supposed to be bearing weight at all. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay. And I'm getting frustrated. And I'll back up just a little bit more to tell you why. As you know, or most of you know, I have to have surgery in my other big jointed areas. This shoulder is next and my right hip. And hopefully not my other Achilles tendon. Well, I'm walking with crutches because they forgot to give me crutches. So I had to go digging for my old ones that I had from many years ago. Thank goodness I had them. And I was so out of it that I didn't even think, hey, you did not give me crutches. So anyway, I don't remember the trip in the car. I remember my car coming around to pick me up. That's all I remember. I barely remember getting in the car. I do only remember because I felt like I fell into the seat. And I remembered it was very uncomfortable. And that's all I remember. And then they were asking me, my daughter and her dad were asking me, are you hungry? I said, yeah. And they asked where to go. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember opening up a box or anything. And my kid's dad kept waking me up saying, you need to wake up. You have food in your mouth. And I woke up thinking, what the hell? And I remember trying to chew it, and then he'd wake me up again. You need to wake up. You're going to choke on your food. And I remember thinking, do I need to spit this out? What is going on? Why can I not stay awake? And they had to do that 3 or 4 times. And I just stopped eating. I think I hurried up and swallowed it. I can't remember. And then my kid's dad had to come up to my apartment while I was still in the car, find my crutches, and then bring him down to me. And he helped me up the stairs. And I went up the best way I could. And I had a little bit of weight on my foot. He was behind me in case I fell backwards. And actually, I did lose my balance. Thank goodness he was behind me. But I come in here, and I barely remember the rest of the day. I guess because I knew I was home. That was it. And I don't remember hardly anything from that point until the next day. But from that day forward, I'm on the crutches. This is where I was going to go and tell you why I was bearing weight. I'm on the crutches the next day, and I'm trying to get around, and I'm trying to keep a lot of the weight off of that foot. Now, my tendons, keep that in mind, and I have lack of strength. My tendons are affected so greatly that I don't have a lot of strength. So I'm sitting here thinking with the crutches, this is very hard. And that the very next day, of course I was still trying, and I noticed my shoulder was absolutely killing me. It was killing me. And it was to the point to where my hip was fine, but my shoulder was killing me. And on that 3rd day, I took my pain pills because of my shoulder. It was that bad. I emailed the doctor again, and the nurse answered the email, and I said, do you have any other ways that I can get around? And I said, maybe a knee scooter. I can sit on that, not kneel on it because it's still putting weight on my hip. I can sit on it and scoot around. That way I can feed myself. I can get around better. My shoulder won't be so much more in pain. And all I got to do is just keep my leg up. She said, the doctor says that will not benefit you. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? How could they not benefit me? I'm not putting weight on my leg, and the crutches are killing me. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It's horrible. Even today, I had the heating pad on it. So anyway, I emailed them several times, and I'm like, I'm actually bearing weight on my foot because I don't have any other way to do that. And then she said, well, you can get a walker. And I said, won't I be putting weight on my leg with a walker? She said, no, you can keep it lifted and you have to hop with your other leg. And I'm sitting here thinking, hopping on my right leg where my right hip is also messed up. You want me to hop? not only that, I live upstairs. The neighbors downstairs would get annoyed, but that's not the point. Is now when I say this, I don't mean it in a negative way, and I don't mean this about anybody else. But I'm 54, gonna be 55 January. My hip, let me back up. My body feels like it's 90 years old because I live in pain. I don't have strength, and I don't want to do anything that's going to jar my body because of all of that. And she's wanting me to hop on one leg, on my other bad leg, to get where I need to go. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way in hell I can do that. I can't hop. I don't understand. And so I just kind of stopped talking to him. Today is a very good day. Yesterday, I figured that I realized with the crutches, because I did use the crutches all the time through the whole process, but I realized when I'm trying to make myself food, I will use the right crutch, and that helped my left hip. It eased the discomfort, and I was able to get around in the kitchen to feed myself. Now, my daughter comes over once a day. She spent the night with me for 3 days to help me. But now she comes over really anytime I want her to. But I always tell her, you can come once a day and you can stay for a while then leave. And she does, and she helps me still. But yeah, I think it was yesterday, I realized I feel okay using one crutch. Now I can carry my food, because with my crutches, I would take my plate and stretch it over my counter, because my counter is a walk around, and on the other side is where you could put stools to sit on and eat. So I stretched it way over on the other side of the counter, get my crutches, hobble over there to the plate again, grab the plate, stretch it over to my coffee table, crutch all the way over to the coffee table, and then grab my plate, sit on my TV stand, which is by the couch where I sit, and then I'm done. Well, that was a pain in the ass, especially with Mouse. Mouse would jump on my coffee table, then I couldn't put the plate there, so I struggled. I actually tripped with the crutches twice. The first time, it had been channeled to me because when I knew I was going down, I was headed to the couch, and something told me, just go with it, just go with it. And I just relaxed and fell on my butt in the couch. Thank goodness it didn't hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, because I was fixing to brace myself. And somebody said, just go with it, go with it. The second time, I tripped with the crutches and landed on both of my knees, which means I put full, forceful body weight on my left hip. And I sat there and I'm like, oh my God. And it hurt. It really did hurt. And it hurt pretty bad the rest of the night. But I had to sit there on my knees, and I had to do a bunch of mind work and try to calm down. And I'm like, how am I going to get up? Because I have to put weight on that leg to get up. There's no way I could do that. So I'm sitting there looking around like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And so when you're in a bad predicament and you're alone, you tend to kind of become more powerful than what you think you actually are. And so I have a really sturdy coffee table and my couch. I was in between both. And I put one hand on my table, one hand on my couch, and just forced myself up only on my good foot, good leg. That's it. It's not really my good leg, but it's better than the one I had surgery on. And it hurt. And I sat down and I was just so frustrated. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, they could have told me to get a wheelchair. They could have told me that I could, I don't know, something. There's something out there. And I'm sitting there thinking, why wouldn't the surgeon or the nurse help me? I don't understand. They were trying to tell me to do things that I could not do, and I even told them that. So I kind of got off track again. After finding out all I need is one crutch, I remembered that I had got a cane while I was in Sedona after my Achilles tendon surgery. And the reason why I have this is because I tripped and my surgery was still fairly new. It was healed. I was walking on it, but it didn't heal good. And I think it didn't succeed after the operation and to feel better. You know, I tripped really good and it swelled up. I had hurt it pretty good, and I had to get a cane to walk normally. So I told my daughter today, please go get my cane out of the car. It's been in my car for a couple of years. And she brings it up, and I'm walking with my cane. I walk with it on my right side, and it helps greatly. And now I'm not sure what to do. I don't think I've done damage to it. I don't, because it doesn't feel like it. I feel like if I had done damage to it, I couldn't walk still. It would still be painful. And then I'm thinking, what if I really screwed it up? What am I going to do? Well, I would probably find a different doctor, because this one, or surgeon, because this one doesn't really care, or he acts like it, or his nurse. And he gets the same email the nurse does, because they're tied in. And the reason why I know this is because I worked for this medical system before. I'm a medical assistant. And when a patient sends emails, it goes to both the doctor and the nurse. So he sees the emails. And I'm frustrated. And I go see him the 8th. And I told my daughter, I said, you're going to have to bring me a wheelchair out to the car, because I'm not walking on my foot in there as much as I will be walking. And if I walk in with, I'll bring my crutches, of course, but I will tell him, I'm not going to hide it. I've been bearing weight on my leg. And then I'm going to tell him why. And if he gets mad, he gets mad. I mean, I have to live. I have to do things. And I can't hop. I mean, I've told you all this. I can't hop on a scooter, on a walker. I can't do all the other stuff. And at night, when I was done with the daily stuff and I had to go to sleep on the couch, I put the heating pad on my shoulder every single night, and even this morning. And I'm sitting here thinking, what a sight. If somebody walked in and didn't know me and knew I had surgery on my hip, and they're looking at me and I got a heating pad on this shoulder, and I'm sitting there, I look like I've been in a major car accident or something. I don't know. But I'm frustrated. I'm like, so what am I going to do? Of course, I'm not going to lie, because I don't lie. But I'm going to tell them, yeah, I've been bearing weight. And I use a cane now to get around the house, because it's my only other option. I was going to do my right hip next. There's no way. I will have to do my left shoulder next. And the reason of that is because I'll be back on crutches with my right hip. And I cannot go through that again with my shoulder. It was worse than my hip surgery. And there's no way I could do that. So I have to do my left shoulder next and wait a year to have my hip done. And why a year? Because shoulder surgeries take forever to heal and solidify. You know what I mean. For instance, if I had shoulder surgery and 2 months later I had hip surgery, there's still no way I could do the crutches, because it would irritate that and hurt it pretty bad. And you can ask anybody who had shoulder surgery, all the pain and irritation, inflammation, everything ends around a year. So, and you can use it like normal, like you never had surgery, like you never had an injury, and you can do whatever you want. It takes a year to do that. So hopefully I can wait a year to have my right hip done. So that's my goal on that. Also, I want to say that also, the end of December, I will be moving into my car. And now it has got to the point where I have to, because I now have bill collectors coming after me, calling me. Or at least I feel that one was a bill collector. They wanted private information. I wouldn't give it to them. They said they were collecting a debt and I had to prove who I was. And I'm like, nope. And they said something and hung up. I don't know. But I do have medical bills fixing to pour in from this surgery. I am not going to be able to afford this apartment. Rent will go up to $765 or $69. I can't remember. I pay $710 now for a 550 square foot apartment. That's crazy. And even though I refinanced my car and it's almost cut in half, when these bills start coming in, I still can't afford that. And I'm referring to the medical bills. And then 2, the IRS declined my injured spouse and innocent spouse, and they're going to come after me with that. So I will be lucky to be able to live in any kind of dwelling whatsoever. So the end of December, I will be moving in my car. And also that way I can get things done that I need done before I do whatever I plan on doing. Hopefully very shortly after I live in my car. I want to have a dwelling of some sort before summer. And I'm not talking about like May through September. I'm hoping to be out of the car in June. Hopefully that will give me enough money to get an RV and rent a small lot somewhere, or land, and then soon something on the land. So I'll have to take it one day at a time. And as I stated before also, I am perfectly okay with being in the car. The more I think about it, I kind of get scared. Why I'm scared, I don't know, because I have places to take a shower. My employer has showers. I won't say what employer it is though. I have places with microwaves, which is my employer also. I will have a warm place to stay in my car. I'm getting 3 like jackeries. They're not jackeries, but they're very similar. I'm getting 3. Why 3? Because I've heard that one doesn't last all night with a heating blanket. So I need 3, because when one dies, I can use the other. And then while I'm working, I can charge them. And then while I'm doing my videos, I will be somewhere. And then when I'm doing laundry in my employer, I can edit, put up when I go to eat. The only time I'll be in the car is probably sleeping. I will have 2 to 3 heating blankets that you could plug in. And one, I seen this the other day, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. I've seen so many people on YouTube saying that their head is always cold, and they couldn't figure out how to keep their head warm. Well, this one woman posted, and I seen there's a heating pad that wraps around your neck and like the bottom of your skull, and it comes down. And I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. I can have a little heating pad on my pillow, and then the shoulder wrap heating pad for my head. That's perfect. Also, I'm having my down comforter in there also, and maybe a sub-zero sleeping bag. I don't think I'll zip it up and encase me in it, because I don't like that. So I'll work it out somehow. So it will work. And as long as I keep thinking, this is for my best interest, this is for my future, I have to do this. And I have to, because I'm not getting younger. And now, since I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, Ehlers, whatever, I'm pretty sure of the one I have. I can't remember the name of it, but it's collagen related. And sometimes there's many levels to the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And there's like 13 levels of it, I think. But you can have more than one type. But right now, I'm thinking I just have the collagen. That is it. Maybe vascular, but I'm not sure. Collagen is your tendons, your ligaments, and then your bones. And I think they go in that order, the destroying part. And so I'm thinking, if I put this off and wait, I'm going to be in really bad shape when I get a little bit older. It's not going to be a long time from now. It's going to be bad. And I don't want to be in the car, living in the car in that kind of shape, being older and struggling major bad. I can't do it. So that's my goal for that. And when I feel down and low, I will just tell myself, look, this is your best interest. You've got to do it. And I do, and I will. I'm strong. I'm very strong-willed. By the way, I'm sorry about the way my hair looks. I was going to straighten it. I haven't straightened it since surgery. But I was going to sit on the toilet in the bathroom and do it, but the toilet is not that comfortable because of my hip. And I can't bring it in the living room because I have very little plug-ins and plug-in strips. And the ones that are exposed, I have to crawl under like my computer desk or stretch behind my couch or whatever to plug in whatever I need plugged in. So I'm like, I'm not going to straighten it. I did brush it. It doesn't look like it, but I did. But this is what my hair looks like. It's clean. I think that when I don't straighten it, it kind of just looks blah. I don't know, but I apologize. And I hope I don't look bad because I want to be the best of everything to you. I try to anyway. And I've missed you guys. I really do. Right after I'm done with this one, I'm going to start another one. Maybe, I'm not sure. And talk about religion. And I had a friend who brought that up today. And I'm like, I really had to talk to him about it so he could come to the realization that it wasn't going on in the way he thought it was. I know it's probably confusing to you, but in the video, you probably understand. But this is going to be a long one. And I love you guys so much. I really do. And I've missed you. I thought of you every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss it. I need to talk to them. So I hope you're doing well. And I hope you're having a great day or night. And I'm going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.